Your forecast first with KSN Storm Track 3, sponsored by X Services.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Kicking off day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. We got the Kansas Today team here in WaKeeney this morning, so we'll get into more of exactly where we're at and why, but let's go ahead and get into that forecast first.
This is Kansas Today on KSN News 3.
Good morning, Kansas. It is Wednesday. You have made it to the middle of the week. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. I am Eddie Randall.
I'm Alexis Padilla.
And I'm meteorologist Ronald Williams.
And it is day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. We are live in WaKeeney at the Well Center of Hope. We're going to be talking about the connection that this business and this organization has with mental health and bringing the community together later on. But guys, it is day 3. Yeah. We are here. How do you guys feel?
It is flying by.
Yeah, I was about to say, just to backtrack a little bit, you said everybody made it to the middle of the week. We made it to the middle of the week.
That is true.
Yeah, very busy, but of course, having a lot of fun, and I'm sure Alexis is too, since this is her first year for the KSN Summer Road Trip.
And I got to do a lot of the fun things. We visited Ellis for the second time in 2 years, for example, and last year you guys got to ride the train. I rode it for the first time this year. Very excited, and just every single stop has something great about it.
Yeah, it was a good time, and of course the weather holding up too. I feel like that's one of the main comments that we get. Everybody just happy to be out and about and getting to actually meet us in person.
Will we see that tip jar out today?
Maybe.
Just kidding.
I might have to.
You have to split that with Lisa now, right? Because Lisa, it's you and Lisa. So do you split the tips?
Hopefully she's not watching right now.
Our KSN Summer Road Trip continues today. Let's go over to Ronell Williams. Ronell?
Yeah, time to get into that first forecast. We're here in WaKeeney. Things are just fine. When we first stepped outside heading to the Well Center for Hope, it was just a little bit chilly out there, mainly for our California native. If you don't know who I'm talking about Alexis. Things were just right for Eddie. Me too. Didn't bring a jacket with me unless we encountered some rain. We did see a little bit yesterday. Of course, we are in western Kansas.
And Ronell said it exactly right. As we were walking out of the hotel this morning, we felt the temperature outside. I'm still getting used to Alexis being from California and still loving that Southern California temperature. I said, oh my gosh, it feels great out here. And she was like, what? It is cold.
I just said seconds before that it was chilly and I had my jacket on.
Well, it does look like things are going to warm back up, so we'll be able to even things out. It's just going to take a little while.
And as we mentioned, we are on day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip, but we have to tell you guys what our day 2 looks like. It was absolutely amazing. Of course, we checked in with you guys on Tuesday morning, and after we left Salina Tuesday morning, of course, after Kansas Today, we drove about 70 miles to Ellenwood. We met dozens of people in Wolf Park, including ladies from the Ellenwood Country Living Center. Ellenwood is a town known for its streets of wheat and underground tunnels.
Well, the thing about it is the tunnel concept was common. You would have seen it in McPherson, you would have seen it in Ellsworth, Salina, Great Bend, Stafford. I mean, it was all over. But our uniqueness, the thing that drives people here, is we've been able to preserve it and have a little bit of it to show.
Many of the tunnels are now filled, but you can still tour a couple under the historic Wolf Hotel.
Our next stop, just 15 minutes away in Great Bend, the entire KSN crew live at noon from Brick Spa Zoo. Many people came out to say hi. We had a special wildlife segment. The zoo brought out an armadillo, lesser anteater, and a mini pig. After the noon show, we packed up and headed west to Ness City. A large crowd waiting for us at the Ness County Museum. We were greeted with smoothies and cookies. Even some daycare kids came out to say hi. They drew some beautiful chalk welcome for us. The hit of the day for the kids, of course, Lisa and the Storm Tracker.
And of course, Alexis mentioned this just a little bit earlier. For the second year in a row, the town of Ellis threw us a party. Ellis is not only a town with history, it's a community dedicated to preserving the history of the Union Pacific Railroad in Ellis. The train ride is a staple, and so is the museum, which takes you back in time of the town built because of the railroad. People party and show us a good time because they're proud of their town. It was so much fun. You guys should have seen Alexis. She had her camera the whole time on her phone, making sure that you take those pictures. You feel like a kid when you get on that train.
Yeah.
You really do. I was running over there and sprinting. They were probably laughing at me. But even the community, they were so excited for us to go back. Some people even had T-shirts that said, "Welcome KSN" for the second year.
Yeah, and I was just a little nervous to get on the train, but I eventually got on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've been posting those pictures since we started the KSN Summer Road Trip, so that's where you can head if you want to see all those pictures that we've been taking.
And that is the sound of that coffee churning right there behind us.
Good morning, welcome back. We are day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip, and we're joined right now. We are live at the Wells Center of Hope here in WaKeeney, and this is the co-founder, Jared Brown. Thank you for joining us, Jared.
Thanks for being here. Glad to be with you.
Now, Jared, we know that the Wells Center of Hope has a strong connection to mental health. Earlier, we were talking to you right before Kansas today, and you told us that your wife is the heartbeat of this organization. Kind of talk about that.
As to why she's the heartbeat to it? Yeah, well, our journey together, her journey, you've seen the concept paper, some of the struggles that she's dealt with, and just her heart for those that are going through the same thing that a lot of people don't see. She just knew we needed to do something. So she was the driving force. If I'm being honest, I'm the one that pushed back and said no for a long time, but eventually you don't win.
Yeah, and you guys have been located, just opened up in November. Can you talk about how the Wells Center of Hope is offering resources for those in the community?
Yeah, well, it starts with not to nitpick on the name, but it's not the Wells Center of Hope, it's for Hope, because we're not the hope. And I say that just because we're not the hope. We're hoping to show who the hope is, where the hope is, lead them to somebody that can give hope. So that's why it's the Center for Hope, because we are for hope in people. And so, no, go back to your question again. What was that?
Well, just talking about the resources, and there's so many stories for people here. Can you talk about the impact you've been able to see in these few months?
Way more than I thought, and that's because of those resources. There's been people that have just been honest about just the struggles that they've had, and we have been quite blessed with the number of resources, the people that want to be part of the network, because it's a network of counselors and therapists and life coaches and pastors and just people coming to visit and be together. And so they've connected. The people we have in that network are great, and the people that have been meeting with them are loving them. I think they're spreading the news, and so they're filling up pretty good. And so, yeah, we've seen, no matter what age, younger, older, we've seen many people come. We obviously can't share. We've got to be pretty private about it, but that have accessed the help through just the therapists, the licensed therapists and counselors that we have. But also, we've had people that have come, and there's a group that comes in about 9 every morning and has coffee. A fellow that had recently lost his wife and was really struggling, and just find a group of people to connect with and visit with, and just what that's brought to him to have that relationship and that connection. And so I could go on forever, so you might as well ask the next question, because there's a lot of stories of things that are going on.
Well, that's actually all the time that we have right now. We're going to chat with you in the next few minutes because we want to get some more information about the Wells Center for Hope. Yeah. And Jerry, we just want to thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, your weather forecast with Ronell Williams is up next. We'll be right back. Do you want to welcome us?
Welcome back. We're continuing with day 3 of our KSN Summer Road Trip, and we are live right now at the Wells Center for Hope here in WaKeeney, Kansas.
Yeah, we're having a great time this morning. The coffee is amazing. Talk about the crowd. The people behind us are just part of the WaKeeney community, so of course they support the mission behind this organization. And as we all say every single time we make a stop, everybody welcomes us with open arms.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, they've just been, coming through the door, just one after the other. You guys said your coffee is amazing. My water is amazing too, nice and cold. Appreciate the ice in here. And this is something that you guys are eventually gonna need to switch to, because it's gonna be another warm day. We're just now kicking off day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. So we do have another busy day ahead. We'll be out and about today, and we'll give you some of those locations here that we'll be at today. But we got to go ahead and get into the forecast, just because we are tracking more storm chances. First, though, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look outside. Most of us in pretty good shape when it comes to our sky conditions. Now, closer to portions of central Kansas, over in eastern Kansas, that's where we're seeing the majority of our cloud cover.
Hoping for some nice weather again today. Well, we are continuing our KSN Summer Road Trip with day 3, but stay tuned for more local news after the break.
Well, let's check in with Ronell Williams with your out-the-door forecast. Ronell?
Yeah, once again, not too bad of a day out there when it comes to our rain chances, anywhere from the metro all the way up into Junction City, Erie County. A lot of those showers that we're seeing left over from yesterday tracking off to the east should be completely dry by the lunch hour, but then we'll have to watch out for maybe a couple of pop-ups, especially central to eastern Kansas later on this afternoon. Looks like it's going to be another warm one, too.
Hopefully just rain holds off like it did yesterday. One of our stops in Ness City, it didn't drizzle until finally wrapping up.
Yeah, the weather has definitely been favorable for the KSN Summer Road Trip. It does look like better rain chances by tomorrow. We have another half hour of Kansas today, so I'll get into that in just a little bit.
Alrighty, well, stay with us. We still have lots of more news coming up. We are live in WaKeeney. The time is 6:29. Stay with us.
Your forecast first with KSN Storm Track 3, sponsored by X Services.
Good morning, Kansas. Day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip kicking off right here in WaKeeney. A little bit more about where we are and why in just a moment. But first, your forecast first. We do have a chance of some lingering showers and storms, especially anywhere between central, eastern Kansas, but a lot of that rainfall tracking off to the east. It is in the process of clearing out. That's why we're keeping the lunch hour dry. But then there may be a few pop-ups that take the place of those early showers by the time we get into the afternoon. Also going to be another warm day with a lot of our highs reaching the 80s. The rest of that storm Track 3 forecast is coming up. Your news starts now.
This is Kansas Today on KSN News 3.
Good morning, Kansas, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning, day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. I'm Eddie Randall.
I'm Alexis Padilla.
And I'm meteorologist Ronell Williams.
We are live this morning in WaKeeney at the Well Center for Hope, and we are learning so much about the organization and about the people, but another day on the road trip. How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling it. I'll just put it that way, especially after dinner last night.
I have had a lot of caffeine, and I'm a coffee drinker. I usually have it, but I feel like it's been a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
We got a taste of some really good, we've had good coffee all week long, but we had some hotel coffee this morning, and then,
You did.
Well, I did, and then I walked in here and I had some gourmet coffee here at the Well, so really excited about that.
Yeah, but it's been jam-packed, and yesterday we started off with our first stop in Ellenwood. The first stop Tuesday, it's the city known for its tunnels and streets of golden wheat, of course, Ellenwood. So it's about 10 miles east of Great Bend in Barton County. A nice group of people came out to talk with us, including ladies from Ellenwood Country Living.
Let's get back out to WaKeeney, where KSN's Ronell Williams has your Storm Track 3 forecast. Ronell?
Yeah, of course, you got to get into that forecast and talk about the weather, not only with the KSN crew out and about for day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip, but also because we do have more shower storm chances in the forecast. That's why I want to start off with a quick look outside. Saline County, so I'll break down that chance for you coming up in just a little bit.
Love having you and Lisa on this trip to give us all the insight.
Yeah, I feel like Storm Tracker 3 is probably more popular than us, I'm just saying.
That's funny, it's funny. Everyone's having a really good time, though, but thank you for the reminder that when we come back, it's Father's Day weekend. I should probably get a gift for my dad.
Gotta get brainstorming. Maybe you'll find something on the road trip at one of the stops.
Really, yeah.
Could I say that? That's why we have a team.
But it has been a busy day, and we had 4 different stops. Jumped the gun a little bit earlier today, but our first stop Tuesday, the city known for its tunnels and streets of golden wheat, Ellenwood. So it's about 10 miles east of Great Bend in Barton County. A nice group of ladies came out to talk with us, including ladies from Ellenwood Country Living. Then we packed up and made the shortest trip so far, just miles away to Great Bend. Of course, the weather was perfect for a nice crowd at the Brit Spa Zoo. We were live with KSN News at noon with Great Bend's own Jason Lamb.
Yeah, I also found out it was Jason Lamb's birthday on Tuesday. And then after the noon show, we drove about an hour to Ness City. And of course, as Ronell just mentioned, Storm Tracker 3, the main attraction. The kids out there loved checking out Storm Tracker 3 with Ronell and Lisa. Now, people in Ness City are waiting to get their pool fixed. It's more than 60 years old. $1 million grant from the National Park Service is going to replace the pool.
I think everybody will be thrilled because everything will be new, and it'll be in the park where our ball diamonds are, and we hope to get new restrooms down there, and we have a couple new playgrounds. So yeah, it should really help the park.
The new pool is expected to open Memorial Day next year.
The entire crew hit the road again to the final stop of the day, Ellis. It's located just northwest of Hayes. You can see we stayed up past our bedtimes to visit the crowd. They were proud to show off their town for our second visit in 2 years.
And the whole town goes all out for Christmas with a celebration dating back to 1950. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, the town puts up a huge handmade tree in the middle of Main Street.
People decorated WaKeeney with handcrafted wreaths, and the entire display uses about 3 miles of electrical wiring. It is considered the largest Christmas tree lighting display between Kansas City and Denver.
This is pretty.
And WaKeeney is also known as the gateway to Cedar Bluff State Park. It's a quick 25-minute drive just south of town. The 850-acre park is divided into 2 areas, Bluffton and Page Creek. Bluffton brings in people who love life at the lake with the most boat ramps, campsites, and cabins. And then Page Creek is a favorite for boaters and those jet skiers.
The town WaKeeney is getting a special visit from the governor today.
That's right. Laura Kelly will be here later this morning for an announcement about the Kansas Main Street program. It gives small towns like WaKeeney resources and tools to help it grow. And we're going to bring you the governor's announcement later on KSN News.
So busy day for WaKeeney. They get to see us, the governor coming later. Exciting time.
Yeah, that's right. And I believe our next stop after this morning is Hoxie.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, and I just want to shout out the packing plant in Ellenwood. You guys got me through lunch yesterday. They had these little sausages. I didn't even get a chance to take a picture of them, but I did take a bunch of them with me, so I just wanted to thank you for that.
Did you try their bacon?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, they had bacon, too.
So no chance for a picture, although I know I counted at least 5 times that you made your way back to the line to get some of that sausage.
Okay, we're not going to get into that right now. We've given the people enough information.
All right, we're going to return with more Kansas today. We are live from WaKeeney, of course. It is day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. We'll be right back.
You're watching Kansas Today with Eddie, Alexis, and Ronell. Good morning.
Welcome back to day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip 2023. It is Kansas Today, and we are live in WaKeeney.
Yes, and we are here at the Wells Center for Hope, and it's just been great. The community here is right behind us, and they've been so welcoming.
Yeah, everyone is having a really good time, and Ronell is sipping his water.
Yeah, that's right. I always like to shout out, where we've eaten the evening before. I believe it was the Brazen Bull. Yeah, so delicious. And then I believe the evening crew. I don't remember exactly what the place is called, but our chief photographer, Kevin Stebrel, they ate in Ellis, and I believe it was a burger place. So I'm sure somebody online is going to correct me and actually give me the name of the place. But they said that was good too.
Ooh, that sounds nice. Maybe we'll have to find a burger today.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back to some more of the stories, some more of those amazing stops that we have had on our summer road trip. Now, this, what you're looking at right now, of course, happened on day 2. Take a look at this beautiful mural on a grain elevator. This is in Ellis. The town is home to the Railers.
This caught my eye when we drove in. So artist Dennis Scheel lives nearby in Hayes, but his grandkids are in Ellis. He is finishing up a mural depicting Railer athletes, but that's not how it started.
We initially started with the train crashing out of the bend, and then we added, I think I added 8 athletes. Well, then it turned to 17 or 18 athletes. We've got every sport covered, and that's where it came from.
Scheel is known for his murals, which are across the state, including one in our state capitol. He says while he will continue to paint, this mural in Ellis may be his last large piece.
And we've said it multiple times that every stop that we make, all the people that we talk to, all are praising us for the weather. And of course, that is because Lisa and Ronell are delivering on what we love.
Yeah, you know what? Things really have been favorable out there. And I feel like that's been a lot of our comments, just the fact that everybody's happy that they can actually get out and it's not stormy. It hasn't been too toasty out there, but things are getting ready to change here pretty soon. Things should stay fairly dry today as we go through the day ahead. yet, but I do want to take a look at our downtown Wichita sky view camera. That's where I'm going to start the forecast, just because we are seeing that cloudy sky.
Also, Lisa just let us know they went to JR's Brick House last night.
Oh, okay. All right.
Said it was delicious.
Yeah, well, hopefully when we come back on the KSN Summer Road Trip, that's definitely going to be a note that I'll be making for the future.
To-do list.
Yeah.
All right, we have more live from WaKeeney on Kansas today and day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. We'll be right back.
All right, time to get you out the door this morning. A few leftover showers, a rumble of thunder off to the east. It looks like a lot of that clearing out by midday, and then we'll have to watch out for a few afternoon central Kansas pop-ups into eastern Kansas later on this afternoon. Still going to be warm out there, too. Now it's time to give away another KSN Kansas Today mug, and today's winner is Joe Henderson. Congrats to Joe.
Awesome. And it has been a fantastic morning here in WaKeeney at the Wells Center for Hope. Just fantastic people.
Yeah, that's right. And we have just a few of them behind us, if you could see them.
Yes, and we're going to continue our journey. We are day 3. Here's the map of where we're going today. We head from WaKeeney to Hoxie. We will be at the Elephant Bistro and Bar from 9 to 10 this morning.
All right, and then after that, we're going to cruise to Hill City. You guys can come see us at Graham County Auto Art and Museum, and then we're going to be doing KSN News at noon live from there, and then we're going to head out to Dighton, and we'd like you guys to come visit us. We'll be there from 2:30 to 3:30.
We have one more stop, and that's in Scott City. Jeff, Julie, and Lisa will be live during KSN News at 5 and 6 at 5th and Washington, so be sure to come out and say hi. That's it for us in WaKeeney.
Right. We are going to do this live at noon. The Today Show is next. Go make it a great day.
Your forecast first with KSN Storm Track 3, sponsored by X Services.
Hey everybody, hope you're having a great Wednesday so far. Of course, the KSN crew is day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. Right now, currently we're in Hill City at the Graham County Auto and Art Museum. Let's go ahead and take a look at areas farther east, especially Wichita though, where you're seeing a little bit more cloud cover than we are here in western Kansas. That's tracking much better chances once we get into our Thursday. Those details in just a little bit. Your news starts now.
This is KSN News 3 at noon.
Yes, it's day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. Our crew has traveled out to northwest Kansas this morning. Jeff Herndon, Julia Thatcher, Eddie Randall, and Alexis Padilla are live from one really hot spot, the Graham County Auto and Art Museum.
Here we are, 4th and Main, Hill City. It's the place to be, right out front of the Graham County Auto and Art Museum. One of my guilty pleasures, one of my favorite places. Before we jump into this, guys, I got a 57 Studebaker sitting right here. We got a 41 Willis behind us, and we got the 69 Torino down there. Yeah. Good-looking cars.
You're like a kid in a candy shop right now.
A little bit, yeah. Unless they let me drive them.
We were here last year. It was such a wonderful welcome, and we had to come back. The real reason we had to come back, Jeff has been talking about it for a year.
That's kind of the reason why, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but let's talk about some of the things that we did this morning. Alexis, myself, of course, meteorologist Ronell Williams woke up early this morning to broadcast Kansas Today live from the Wells Center for Hope in WaKeeney. The coffee is great, guys. The people are also amazing, but this is not just a coffee shop. It's a nonprofit focusing on emotional and mental health and spiritual wellness. But we weren't the only dignitaries in town this morning. I said that. You know I love a title. Governor Laura Kelly making a stop this morning, announcing WaKeeney is now part of the Kansas Main Street program. The program, through the Commerce Department, helps towns revitalize and preserve their core. WaKeeney is the only town to be added this year.
Okay, after the rest of us woke up, we hit the road and headed to Hoxie. Oh, guys, that's the home of the Indians. Back-to-back-to-back 3-2-1A state wrestling champions and astronaut Nick Hague. Now, I met Rick. Old Rick was nice enough, the president of the Hoxie Outriders, to bring down his 69 Charger to the event. You know what Rick always says, Mopar or no car, my man. I got to say, Rick, that was one sweet ride. Thanks for bringing it down.
And of course, we're not surprised that Jeff found that car. We were at the Elephant Bistro. They hosted this meet and greet, and it used to be an old jewelry store. You could not tell from what it looks like now. The Campbells restored it, turning it into this upscale restaurant. Pieces of the building repurposed and used as decor.
We made our tables out of the floor from there. The bar is made out of the old Hoxie bowling alley lane. And we took all the brick walls and completely restored them and just tried to keep the history of Hoxie around here.
The history throughout is so cool. The Elephant actually celebrates 5 years in business in August, and you may wonder where the name comes from. All right, so she says, you know the saying, an elephant never forgets. She wants this place to be unforgettable. I think she accomplished that.
Mm-hmm. Moving to where we are now, Hill City, home to the Schweitzer Hotel. Built in 1886, it was the place to stay for most of its life, but was a dress shop for a couple years. The Schweitzers bought it 20 years ago in August. The building is more than just that. It came with a family.
When we first took over the hotel, we had a fairly active coffee crowd. There was actually like 3 different sessions that came in. There was the older retired farmers that were showing up like at 6 or 5:30 in the morning, and we just weren't going to do that. And then we had a second group and a third group.
The Java doesn't stop flowing when the Schweitzers are out of town. Members of the coffee club have their own keys to the hotel and let themselves in.
We are live at the Graham County Auto and Art Museum, and I see you, Lisa, because the thing is, we're showing you what's on the out. Wait till you see what's on the inside, because coming up a little later, we're gonna take you behind the doors, behind the curtains, so to speak, and look at some of the rides in there.
Under the hood.
And I would have to say that the Cobra, the kit car, oh, that's one of my favorites inside right now.
Nice. Oh, really? Yeah, that's awesome. Rick's car, too.
It is. It is.
That car as well.
Well, can't wait to see that tour. We have much more coming from the Shields KSN Summer Road Trip.
Now, your Storm Track 3 weather rate forecast.
Welcome back, everybody. I want to say over the last 24 hours, the KSN crew, we've been driving all over western Kansas. We did have some storms in portions of western Kansas late yesterday evening, even as early as the afternoon and late last night as well. A lot of that activity has fizzled out. Things have been dry. It's sunny, maybe a little bit of cloud cover, but I do expect things to continue to stay pretty dry out here. A little bit farther off to the northwest in the Colby area, you can see plenty of blue sky, maybe a little bit of cloud cover here and there at times, but not really expecting too much stormy activity, especially in western Kansas.
Welcome back. We are live in Hill City at the beautiful Graham County Auto and Art Museum, and look at all the people who have come out today enjoying a freshly grilled burger and all kinds of stuff. And there's a beautiful 65 sitting in there too. There's a lot of it. What a great turnout here. Oh yeah, of course.
Absolutely. And as we're making these stops in different towns, we're learning so much just about Kansas and about different communities. We were out earlier in Hoxie. Finding affordable childcare is hard for so many families, really across Kansas. In Hoxie, they are making it a reality. The Sheridan County Foundation partnered with the school district to create a daycare. Children of teachers and staff are top priority. It's a tool for hiring and retention.
It came to just that point in time where we really needed to address things as a community to make sure that we've got childcare slots that assist our parents in being able to be in the workforce and have a thriving community.
The second solution, a place where daycare providers can set up their businesses. The Sheridan County Foundation is working on a duplex providers can lease.
There's also the option that the provider can live here as well. So we're actually, the foundation has a dual purpose, and we're fulfilling potentially 2 needs in the community, for housing and for daycare.
The duplex is expected to be finished in late fall or early spring, and if 2 businesses move in, it would provide childcare for up to 2 dozen kiddos.
We are back here live inside the Graham County Auto and Art Museum. There's so many wonderful things to see. It's like a kid in a candy store. If you love cars, they are here. I want to bring in Phyllis Weller. Phyllis is the Secretary and Treasurer of the Graham County Auto and Art Museum. And Phyllis, thank you for having us out. Will you please tell me, this is a new car we're standing by, and this has some history behind it.
It certainly does. Thank you. First of all, thank you for coming.
You bet.
We are really excited to have this car at the Graham County Auto and Art Museum in Hill City. This was purchased new. It's a 1957 Jag. It was purchased new by Hugh Often Kloss. Now, for those of you who don't know your history very well, that is the gentleman that married Jackie Kennedy's mother. They were married in 1941, and he purchased this new in 1957. This later on became Jackie's car, and Jackie and JFK used this as their family car And you would see them many times in Jackie's family's estate in Virginia driving this car. It'd be a pretty cool car to have as a family car, wouldn't it?
So you can see the Kennedy family truckster, but it's way beyond a family truckster. This is quite an automobile, and it is beautiful.
It is. In fact, this has been fully restored, taken all the way down and restored to the original factory job on this car. So it's an incredible piece of equipment and a beautiful car, really is.
Just one of so many cars. You have the history behind a lot of these cars in here. There are dozens and dozens, and we could spend a whole 2 days talking about the history of those cars. What else do you have coming up at the Graham County Auto and Art Museum?
Well, just a couple of cars behind us here. We've got a 1929 Pierce Arrow. We've got a Cadillac, a touring Cadillac. We've got a 69 Firebird in the back that has 3,000 original miles on it.
We've got some big events too.
Oh, we do. We have a great event. The Graham Cam Slam is coming up in August of this fall. We're going to have lots of things for kids, lots of things for adults, and lots of cars coming to the area. So you don't want to miss it.
A lot going on. Phyllis, thank you so much, guys. Incredible stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to have to drag you out of here before we go.
Yeah, they're going to tell me to leave. I know.
Our day just getting going. We have 2 more stops to make today. When we're done here, we're darting down to Dighton, Then we'll head to Scott City, where we'll broadcast KSN News at 5 and 6. Find out when we'll be close to you on our website, ksn.com.
We can't say it enough, like kids in a candy store here for this car show.
And of course, the weather is also behaving. It has been a beautiful day. Started off a little on the cool side. It's warming up, but come on down. Looks like we're going to avoid the rain for today. We'll have more after this.
And now let's send it back out to meteorologist Ronell Williams in Hill City.
All right, my face may look just a little bit shiny, but I promise it's not too toasty out here. Here's proof. High temperatures today, mainly just in the 80s, but by Father's Day, we're looking at highs across the area in the 90s. And looking at that 7-day forecast, we also have more storm chances that we'll have to watch out for. We have a few people here. I just got to ask them a question. Can you tell me what your favorite station is?
KSN.
All right, you heard it. Hill City now, Dighton's next. Have a great day.
Your forecast first with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman, sponsored by X Services.
Good evening. It has definitely been a journey across Kansas for day number 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. We are live in the Scott City area. It is the home of the Beavers. And take a look at who has come out to watch us tonight here in Scott City. And a lot of folks that are checking out Storm Tracker 3 as well. How's the weather looking?
Nice.
I think everybody agrees. Everybody loves this weather, but I know some of you would like a little bit more rainfall. I have heard that throughout western Kansas. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the weather is doing for the rest of this evening and look ahead to how some things will be changing over the next 24. We do have partly cloudy skies over downtown Wichita. A lot of this is that fair weather cumulus clouds that will disappear after sundown, and temperatures range anywhere from the 70s into the 80s. We've had more of those 80s farther to the east. In your forecast first, 83 degrees at 7 o'clock. Cannot rule out a shower or two, mainly to the southeast of the Turnpike. 72 at 10 o'clock and 67 tomorrow morning. But we could see some storms here in the Scott City area tomorrow. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
They want the rain, but there might be some severe weather. We'll talk about that. Your news starts now.
This is KSN News 3 at 5.
It's day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. Our crew continuing their trek out west. KSN's Julia Thatcher and Jeff Herndon live in Scott City. Guys, how's it going out there?
Well, hey, we made it, Julia.
We did.
Scott City, Kansas, USA. Let's get this out of the way right now. Yes, this is the hometown of Shocker legend and former New York Knicks star Ron Baker. We want to get that off the top because, you know, Scott City.
Baker territory.
It's Ron territory for sure, but it's known for a lot more things than just the one and only Mr. Ron Baker. Competitive Connect 4 going on behind us right now. It's a very intense game. As you can see.
Absolutely. Happening tonight is their community appreciation night. So we got to be out here and crash it a little bit. I know that we're going to have Brady Nichols performing at 6:30. A lot happening, though, before that. You can see Distinct Art is out here putting up temporary tattoos. They're going to open up a shop in Scott City here in a little while. There's going to be a VR experience, a hot dog feed. So a lot happening out here in Scott City. I got a temporary tattoo earlier. Check out the bumblebee. I was not able to convince Jeff to get one.
Well, you don't know if I got one or not. You may not be able to see it.
Yeah, that's the real mystery. But we got to see a lot today earlier. Our first stop this morning was out in Hoxie, home of astronaut Nick Hague. He went to the International Space Station in 2019, conducting hundreds of missions. Then the Elephant Bistro and Bar hosted our meet and greet as that first stop. It celebrates 5 years in business in August. The owner repurposed wood from the building and others in Hoxie for the decor. Our next stop from there, the Graham County Auto and Art Museum in Hill City. I think the big surprise is we didn't have to pull Jeff out of there.
Yeah.
He came willingly.
Ooh, I did.
Yeah, they have cars from the 20s, 30s, really every decade. And they even have one that once belonged to Jackie Kennedy. A huge thank you to the museum board, of course, for cooking us lunch while we were out there.
Delicious hamburgers for sure. And after filling our expandable bellies, we headed south 90 miles, landing in Lane County, talking about Dighton City Park. And like many places out west, it benefited from the Homestead Act of 1862, where families could get 160 acres of land for free if they settled and lived there for 5 years. Dighton is now home to about 900 people, and I had a wonderful conversation with some women who refer to themselves as the senior citizens.
Yes.
We had a great talk. Thank you for the conversation, ladies. I was enlightened for sure.
Yeah, they were a fun group. Dighton was a fun stop, and so then it was fun to come out here, and we have a big crowd out here as well. So definitely come out and join us. We'll be out here for quite a bit, but we still have more coming up on the KSN Shields Summer Road Trip. Welcome back to the Shields KSN Summer Road Trip. We are in Scott City, our last stop of the day, but we're going to be live here through 6:30.
Hasn't it been a great, I mean, you talk about midweek, great road trip so far. Today was really special.
One of my favorite parts, we get to meet new friends, but there were a lot of people who either came from different towns that we saw on past road trips. They made it out to our new stops, and that was really special.
And we love hearing the stories, so many wonderful stories that we get to hear, and folks sharing with us all over the state of Kansas. Now, just down the road from us here in Scott City, our state's top art museum, the Jerry Thomas Gallery and Collection. Thomas, an artist, sculptor, historian whose work depicts wildlife and landscapes of the American West. Now, last month, he received the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution Historic Preservation Medal.
It celebrates the passion and the work that I've done over the years to not only the collection, the paintings of the folks in the history, but also the work we've done for different things to protect historical camps, historical sites over the years, and I'm very proud of that.
Well, the gallery not only has Thomas's art, but also historic artifacts that he collected over the years. You got to check it out. And the arts, it's a thing of life in Northwest Kansas. The Main Street Arts Council is a nonprofit founded in Hoxie. In 2015, puts on several events and workshops throughout the year, but it is zeroing in on theater. This year, it's producing 6 children's musicals in Hoxie, Atwood, Goodland, Quinter, Colby, and Oakley.
You know, we all experienced, having to go out of town to go to music camps and study music lessons, voice lessons, piano lessons. And we decided we're back home. Why can't we provide this opportunity for the next generation and share our love of music and the arts and performing with the kids?
And it is an awesome lineup. Plays this year include Shrek Jr., The Lion King Jr., and Frozen Jr. Shows begin a little later this month.
That's awesome. A nonprofit in Hill City also giving back to the community, Riders Inc. It was created after one of Scott Roberts' classmates was diagnosed with leukemia. The group did a poker run raising money for him, and it took off from there.
We're a group of people that have all the same liking and interest as far as just riding buggies, but be able to turn that riding into riding for a cause it's really rewarding, and what we get to do for people is even that much more rewarding.
Riders Inc. has a track outside Hill City where riders can take their ATVs out. The group just held its annual Graham Jam over the weekend with musicians from the area. Money raised helps local families. Summer officially starts 1 week from today, but Dighton is celebrating early with its annual kickoff of summer. There are many events, including a pickleball tournament, vendor and craft fair, and car show.
I think it keeps us together. We work together to make it happen. It's a great time. Here in Dighton, Kansas, we are just a family and friends, and we love to be with each other. So it's a great time just to hang out and visit and have a good time.
Kickoff to summer is all day on Saturday. Everything besides the food and the drinks is free.
It is. Back out here live. We're in Scott City, Kansas, and I can smell the burgers and the hot dogs wafting in the air. They fired up a big grill over there, and you can smell the treats. They're going to have a big party here tonight.
They definitely have a lot of people congregating already over there. So it's really a beautiful day. Somebody had mentioned the wind is not too strong out here. So Lisa is getting a lot of thanks and kudos. Lisa, how's the rest of the day looking?
And everybody is giving me credit for such great weather today. A few clouds, we've had those light winds. As the saying goes in western Kansas, if you have winds that are gusting to 40 miles per hour, that's a Tuesday afternoon. So when they are this light, it is absolutely delightful. And when you talk about those winds, it's all about wind direction because we're so close to that grill. And once we get the right winds, it definitely smells pretty good. Well, coming up, we are going to see some more rainfall across the region over the next 24 hours, plus over the weekend. Who will benefit? Who will miss out? Who could see some severe weather? All coming up next in your Storm Track 3 forecast.
Now your Storm Track 3 weather rate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman.
Welcome back. We are live in Scott City, and the sun has dominated the day along with those light winds, comfortable temperatures from the 70s into the 80s. We started our day in WaKeeney. We went to Hoxie. By the way, the food at the Elephant, absolutely superb. Then we went to check out some cool cars in the Hill City and then went over to Dighton, and in the shade we had some great conversations with some fine folks that live in that city. But now here in Scott City, take a look at the crowd that has joined us. And I have to ask, what makes Scott City such a wonderful town?
Just the culture. Everybody wants to have a good time.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Culture separates us from everyone around, for sure.
What do you love about Scott City?
The park.
The park, yeah. And I'll tell you what, this is definitely going to be the place to be because we're going to have a lot of cool stuff that's going on. They have a bouncy house for the kids. They have Connect 4. And of course, the KSN crew as we continue the KSN Summer Road Trip for today. This is the third day. Let's go ahead and get to the weather because we do have some changes to talk about. Those overnights, they're going to stay on the comfortable side in the 50s night after night, but we will actually drop back into the 60s early next week once those higher temperatures in the 90s take over the Sunflower State. We are live in the Scott City area. We'll be back after this.
Let's check in one last time with the KSN Summer Road Trip crew in Scott City. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, a sunshade for that windshield, but we also need maybe an umbrella to shield us, not from any rain, but some of that sun, although we do have a little bit of help from a cloud that's moving through at this time. We have a bouncy house behind us. Julie and I will pay $5 to go jump in it.
Oh, yeah.
No chance I'm doing it for $5. If you want to up the ante a little bit, we might talk a little later. All right.
We're going to get some emails rolling in.
Everybody's going to be like, do it, Jeff, come on. All right, lows tonight are expected to be in the 50s and 60s. Still could see a few evening showers southeast of the Turnpike. Highs tomorrow into the 80s and a few 90s, 80s rather, in Wichita. Plus, we do have a risk for severe weather. Those storms will start in Colorado, move into the western half of the state after 3 p.m. on Thursday, and continue to move through the rest of the state tomorrow night. We will talk more about that coming up at 6, live from Scott City.
Your forecast first with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman, sponsored by X Services.
Good evening. We have been treated to delightful weather all across western Kansas today. Sunshiny skies producing a few clouds. Most of these clouds will disappear within the next hour or two. It is a rain-free day in western Kansas, but a few showers still possible to the southeast of the Turnpike. Look behind me. This is where everybody's gathered in Scott City. Why? Because it's dinner time. It's all around the grill. We have a lot to talk about considering our journey that we've had across western Kansas so far for today for day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip. Looking outside from K96 and Rock on the northeast side of Wichita. It's also been a partly cloudy day across the Wichita Metro. We're going to take a look at that and time it out hour by hour for you live from Scott City in your Storm Track 3 forecast. Your news starts now.
This is KSN News 3 at 6.
Day 3 of the KSN Summer Road Trip coming to an end. KSN's Julia Thatcher and Jeff Herndon out west live in Scott City. How's it going out there, guys?
Yeah, live in Scott City. They're also having a community appreciation night, so a huge party out here. I know we have a live performance coming up at 6:30, but right now Security State Bank has food lined up. This is the first time in quite a bit that the line has been non-existent, but you see this huge crowd behind a bunch of people, so a big party tonight. So be sure to come out here and say hi to us if you see us out here, and then of course enjoy the party.
Serving up some delicious hot dogs here in Scott City. And this town, this city, they've welcomed us with open arms today. Couldn't be a better welcoming for us. There's plenty to do down here. We got yard games, you got food, there's some tattoos, even a bouncy house right behind us, which I will not be going into. The city says it is the place where history and progress meet. It is also Scott City home to Shocker legend and former NBA player Ron Baker. Now, about 30 minutes north of Scott City sits something that you just have to see to believe. Little Jerusalem Badlands, established as a state park in 2018. It has 100-foot tall rocks and cliffs made out of chalk formed by sediment at the bottom of an inland ocean tens of millions of years ago. And just east of Little Jerusalem is Monument Rocks, also known for its chalk landmarks.
And before coming to Scott City, we were in Dighton, the town now home to about 900. Dozens of them came out to say hi to us and cool off with free snow cones at the city park. This is part of the state looks a lot different compared to last year. That recent rain is really greening things up after they were brown for so long. And just outside Dighton, a 10-minute drive will take you to the Imkey Farm. The homestead created in 1885. In that time frame, a year before Lane County was even created. The farm evolved into a seed business over the last 2 decades. One of the key pieces they needed, a state-approved scale that could weigh semis.
You know, there's a fine line between creativity and desperation. Like, we needed a scale house, and so we thought, well, let's just build a grain bin. And then our builder is a really creative individual.
The grain bin is a hit. It was featured on HGTV. People from all over came to see it and sign it, including 2 governors. And the bin has heat and air conditioning, and we're told that they use it as an office, but during harvest, it's more like a house.
Yeah, it's just one of those unique things that you have to see to believe out
Absolutely.
Here. It is pretty awesome. We have plenty more from the KSN Shields Summer Road Trip. Welcome back to KSN News at 6, and welcome back live to Scott City, Kansas. It is a beautiful night for a party in the park.
And that's exactly what we're having. Hey, quick question. Does anyone want to see Jeff Herndon in the bounce house? Yeah! There was a 50-50 shot that would work.
There were a lot of people over here that said no, and I think there's a bigger contingency of folks over there. Listen, we've had a great summer road trip so far. Our first stop of the day, the Elephant Bistro and Bar in Hoxie. Let me talk about this place for a minute here. Upscale restaurant, like something that you would find in a big city. It's on that level. The Campbells opened it in a roundabout way. Great story here. Emily got her CPA license at K-State. Her husband's job took them to Seattle, and that's where she went to culinary school. They moved back to Hoxie and opened the Elephant in 2018. Things were going well until COVID.
We really tried to be creative and inventive during that time, sending out meal kits, doing as many to-go orders as possible. As soon as we were allowed to open the doors, we opened the doors, and it was like the floodgates opened. Everybody was ready to come back.
While the restaurant is upscale, the Campbells pay homage to its roots, using old wood flooring as tables, and the bar is amazing. It is actually made out of a bowling alley lane from the old Hoxie bowling alley.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Another place you might not expect to see, a nationally recognized art museum. Jerry Thomas grew up in Scott City. He was an artist from birth, but really started putting pencil to paper after his athletic career was done. Thomas also collects artifacts, puts them on display at his gallery, and incorporates them into his art.
In this state, we have collections of heritage and history that is like no other. And it is a shame for it to go other places, and it is so wonderful to see it in our own state and showcase it for all to see.
Thomas just received the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution Historic Preservation Medal for his work in keeping history alive. We'll be right back.
Now, your Storm Track 3 weather rate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman.
Welcome back. We are live in Scott City. It has been a blast. We are getting to wrap up the third day of the KSN Summer Road Trip. We've been putting the miles on Storm Tracker 3. I think we're estimating anywhere between 400 to 500 miles so far, and we still have 2 more days left to go and to visit your community. Check out the crowd that has joined us this evening here at 6 o'clock. And I have to ask you, what do you think of the weather today? What's your name?
Jaden.
Jaden, what do you think of the weather?
It's nice.
It's nice, but you know what? I think we need some sunglasses like this. What's your name?
Marin Kerr.
Marin, what do you think of the weather?
It's really nice, but it's hot.
It is a little hot. And you know, we did have some shade associated with cloud moving through, but now that's broken out in full sunshiny skies, and we felt that temperature jump. What do you think of the temperatures now?
I think it's like really hot, but it's really nice too.
It's really hot, but it's really nice. What do you think, sweetheart? What's your name?
Riley.
Riley, what do you think of the weather? What are you doing this summer? You're out here having fun on the KSN Summer Road Trip, aren't you? That's right, getting a look at Storm Tracker 3. We still have many more stops left to go before the week is all said and done. But we also have a few storms to get through. Today we have been watching areas mainly to the south and also to the east of the Kansas Turnpike. We are live here in Scott City. Come on out and see us on the KSN Summer Road Trip. We would love to meet you. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Speaking of weather, let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman in Scott City with one last look at the forecast. Lisa.
Only need that umbrella for sunshine this evening, but you will need it for rain by tomorrow. And hey, take a look at this. They are gearing up to be jamming here in the Scott City area here. They're getting ready to play some outlaw country music. So come on down and have a great time. They have hamburgers, they have hot dogs, they have a lot of food, and a lot of great conversations that are being ongoing here in the Scott City area. Looking at our lows tonight, 50s and 60s. Still could see that shower to the southeast of the Turnpike. That won't last for too much longer. We'll have a quiet night, but a rowdy afternoon for your Thursday. We'll have thunderstorms out in western Kansas that will travel east across the rest of the state. All forms of severe weather are possible. Hail, high winds, maybe a tornado or two, mainly to the south-southwest. We'll continue to monitor trends, but we are definitely enjoying this pleasant day that we have had today. Jeff and Julia.
Well, that's a wrap. Day 3 of the big KSN Summer Road Trip from Scott City.
Yeah, but we still have plenty of more stops to catch us on. We are in Garden City, Ulysses, Dodge City, Coldwater, and Greensburg tomorrow. And if you do come out, be sure to snap a photo with us, submit it onto our website to be entered to win a road trip prize pack from Shields. It is a $50 Shields gift card, $100 gas card, cooler, tumbler, snacks, everything you need when you hit the road.
Yeah, we want to thank everybody who's come out so far these first 3 days of the road trip to talk to us, and we've loved hearing your stories. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that's a constant on these road trips, a lot of these places cook the food and the delicious hot dogs. We're literally 15 feet away from the hot dog pit.
Yeah, if we're moving a little slower than people would imagine that we are on TV, it's because we're full.
Yeah. Well, we're also hungry too.
Yeah, we are.
It is about dinner time. Hey, listen, thank you so much for watching. We still have 2 more days to go on the KSN Summer Road Trip. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.